Hey guys, this is John Speed from johnspeedbooks.com, and I am doing another video today. I want to show you another item in our library that is significant. These two are not the books that I will be really talking about. This is just by way of introduction. One of the authors that's been influential on my life is an author named Andrew Murray. He wrote these two books among many, many others, Abide in Christ and With Christ in the School of Prayer. This book, especially on prayer on the right, has had a very big impact on me, and I've always appreciated Andrew Murray's writing. Andrew Murray was a writer from South Africa, and when I came to faith in Christ, it was through a guy named Keith Daniel, who was also influenced heavily by Andrew Murray, and who is also from South Africa. And so there's a lot of personal reasons why I like Andrew Murray, and that's so far I hope you're seeing this, that in the world of book collecting, you collect what you want and you collect what personally impacts you. Well, neither of these books is rare or collectible. They're just reading copies that I have. However, I'll put those aside for a moment to show you this. The Epistle to the Romans by H.C.G. Mull. This is from the Expositor's Bible commentary, the early one. There's another one called the Expositor's Bible Commentary from like the 1980s or so. This is the earlier set. All written pretty much, well, not all written, but there's multiple authors to that. And I'll show you the title page here. Well, this is that's the series title page for the Expositor's Bible. In London, what is that, 1896. This is the title page to this specific volume. And again, 1896. Maybe a first edition, I'm not even sure. That's not why I got this one. I already actually had this book in my collection when I bought this one. So sometimes, obviously, book collecting has more to, not just to do with edition or whether or not you already have it. Some books will have special features about them that, you want to grab it even if you've already got a copy. This is one of those cases, and it's because of this book plate in the front. It says, London City Mission, January 7th, 1897. Presents to Mr. Murray with the hearty good wishes of George Williams. So Williams, I believe, was the director of the London City Mission in 1897. Mr. Murray is Andrew Murray. Andrew Murray. The guy who wrote Abide in Christ, the guy who wrote With Christ in the School of Prayer, the famous South African preacher, writer that I was just telling you about. I bought this book from a very reputable book dealer who buys a lot of really special material. In fact, he came across the stuff that was being sold for quite a while. He came across the corrected proof sermons by Charles Spurgeon that were being sold by a gentleman on a website. He was selling them for like $100 a piece or something, just by page. So he'd sell individual pages with Charles Spurgeon's hand-corrected notes for $100 a piece. The same dealer that turned those up initially, and then those got bought and turned into a website where they were marketed by page individually. That same dealer is the dealer who sold me this. In fact, I was the one that got away. I was watching the auction, the original auction, where those were being sold, and I missed them. I lost track of when the auction closed, and they sold for the opening bid. And I never had a chance to even bid on them because I was being stupid. So there's a lesson for you. If you're buying stuff by auction, don't wait. But anyway, back to Andrew Murray. This is Andrew Murray's book. Or it was Andrew Murray's book. It's my book. Now, what's interesting about this, I think, is in the early chapters of this book, there's underlining, there's pencil underlining, and it's pretty evidently Andrew Murray's pencil underlining. And I say that because of the things that he underlined. The things that he underlined are things that would, that pretty much resonate with Murray's, mindset. I'll just say it that way. Here's the first example on page 9. As we look on his face, we think with awe and gladness that with those same thought-tired eyes he has literally seen only 20 years ago, so he will quietly assure us the risen and glorified Jesus. He is a transfigured man since that sight of Jesus Christ, talking about the conversion of Paul, who now dwells in his heart by faith and uses him as a vehicle of his will and work. This is the kind of thing that would resonate with Murray. Obviously, he underlined it, but if you read his writing, it sounds somewhat similar. Page 11, to be Jesus Christ's bondservant is paradise in the concrete. Yeah, that almost sounds like something Murray would write. For St. Paul and for us, the fact is everything. For peace and life, this Jesus Christ is true man, that is certain. He is also, if we trust his life and word, true Son of God. Just one more example. You get the idea from this page. It was no flickering life, crucified but not quite killed, creeping back in a convalescence miscalled resurrection. It was the rising of the sun, and he double underlines rising of the sun. And then down below there, no moral change was ever at once more complete, more perfectly healthful than what his return wrought in that large and various group when they learnt to say, we have seen the Lord. Again, we have seen the Lord, double underline. The man who wrote this epistle had seen him last of all. That was indeed a sight in power and working a transfiguration. In power is double underlined. So this is what you would call in the book trade a association copy on one hand, because Murray owned it, and so when you've got a book that somebody owned, somebody famous owned, it's an association copy. I have other books like that. I have one right now in my inventory that belonged to Anita Luce, the author of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. So that's another association copy. Somebody famous owned it. I once had an association copy of Grover Cleveland. A book that was very rare to begin with, limited to like 250 copies, but signed by the author and inscribed to Grover Cleveland with documentation that it was in Cleveland's library. So, yeah, that's what an association copy is. This is an Andrew Murray association copy, and one reason they are collected is because of things like I just showed you. People like to see what they underlined and that sort of thing. It's special to have something that was once owned by an author that you respect. And so that some people, that's all they collect are association copies. They're difficult to find, and often you'll pay a high price for them, especially if you're talking about something like, for example, the Anita Luce association copy. That copy is, I think I have it priced at $1,000. This is not like that. I mean, Andrew Murray is obviously, he's still read today. His books are still reprinted. But, I don't know how many people actually collect Andrew Murray. So it's a bit different, but I got this at a fantastic price. I think I paid $45 for it. I don't know what I would even sell it for, if I would ever sell it. I'm not inclined to sell it. What it would be worth, the way that you'd have to research is try to find other Andrew Murray Association copies that are not signed by him. Apparently, it appears that he didn't bother signing at least books that had a book plate, a presentation book plate. That's the other kind of thing I can say about this. I guess in a way, you can call this a presentation copy as well. That's another category. If say Murray was to present this to somebody else and he signed it with his name, that would be called a presentation copy. This is sort of a presentation from London City Mission, I guess, but not exactly the same thing as a presentation copy. Properly, it is a association copy. Condition flaws with this, you see the bottom corners here are bumped, and the one on the left is rubbed through. Both are rubbed, but the one's rubbed through. Same thing here on the top, bumped and rubbed, top left corner, rubbed through. You got some just general scuffing on the spine. The front hinge is cracked. It's a cracked hinge there, and that can be repaired. I'll probably try to repair that. But even if you repair it and you're trying to sell it, you've got to note that. Let's check the back hinge. Back hinge is not cracked. Yeah, that's not cracked. So it's in decent condition. With a cracked hinge, I almost always immediately call it good condition, because I think that's a bigger flaw than a lot of other flaws. Even if you repair it, you've got to note it. Yeah, so it's a great commentary to begin with. The commentary by Moll is respected on Romans. It's a devotional commentary. But to have the Andrew Murray association with it's really kind of a neat thing. So, yeah, I'm thankful to have it. And, again, it's one of those things that's not for sale. I think in the next video we'll do another... we'll do one from our inventory that's actually for sale. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it's a blessing to somebody. And we'll put up some more material soon.